adequate funding to rescue safer oil tanker. Government and Houthis announced readiness to resume prisoner exchange talks. United Nations marks today May 5 World Hand Hygiene Day for the year 2023. Welcome to YEMEN Today TV. This is the English news with me, Shazab Delbey. 4 members of the UAE-backed Transitional Council militia were injured as a result of being targeted by an explosive device in Ebian. A local source said an explosive device targeted a car belonging to the Transitional Council, which resulted in the injury of 4 members of them. United Nations failed to raise the funds for an operation to recover 1.1 million barrels of oil from a decaying vessel anchored off Yemen's coast and prevent an environmental disaster. This report has more details.
The 47-year-old safer has not been serviced since Yemen's civil war broke out in 2015, and it was left abandoned off the rebel-held port of Hodeidah. The United Nations is short nearly $24 million needed to safely remove oil from an abandoned tanker off Yemen's coast, urging donors to stump up the remaining funds. A virtual donor conference on Thursday raised $5.6 million in new contributions towards the $129 million unprecedented rescue operation, in which the UN purchased its own supertanker to remove more than 1 million barrels of oil from the decaying FSO Safer in the Red Sea. It is urgent that this gap is closed to successfully implement the operation. While the contributions received are appreciated, there is a crucial need for the funds to allow them to complete the tasks that they have begun. After the emergency phase is completed, an additional $90 million will be needed for the second phase, which will involve towing the Safer and securing the UN-purchased supertanker. The donor conference was organized by the United Kingdom and the Netherlands. An oil spill from the Safer would not only be devastating for some 1.7 million Yemenis who depend on the fishing industry for their livelihoods, but would affect millions of others if ports used for food deliveries were to close. The rationale for action is clear. $20 million now could save $20 billion in potential costs later.
Yemeni Airlines apologized for resuming operating flights to evacuate the Yemenis stuck in Sudan. In addition, it pointed out to the high risks of air transport and the ban imposed by the Sudanese army, the accidents suffered by aircraft at the beginning of the war and in the evacuation process. The chairman of the board of directors of the Yemeni company said that this came as a result of the events currently taking place in Sudan. Houthi militia and Yemen's government have announced their readiness to continue negotiations on the exchange of prisoners. This report has more details.
Yemen's government and the Houthi militia have separately announced their readiness to resume UN-facilitated negotiations on the exchange of prisoners and detainees. UN-brokered negotiations in March successfully led to the release of around 900 prisoners in April, marking the second-largest prisoner exchange between the warring sides since the start of the Yemeni civil war over 8 years ago. In a statement, the government's Prisoner Affairs Committee voiced its readiness to join the meetings on May 15 that aimed at putting an end to the plight of prisoners held in Houthi jails. It called on the UN and the International Committee of the Red Cross to continue facilitating the exchange of prisoners between the Yemeni warring sides without preconditions. It also reaffirmed the government's commitment to free all prisoners and put an end to the humanitarian issue on the basis of an all-for-all principle. For their part, officials from the Houthi rebel group in Sana'a also said they were fully ready to join the next round of negotiations on prisoner exchange. On Tuesday, Abdul Qadir al-Murtada, head of the Houthi Prisoner Affairs Committee, said he met UN Special Envoy for Yemen Hans Gomberg and his team in Sana'a and discussed ways to advance the prisoner exchange issue. According to al-Murtada, the Houthis have informed the UN envoy of their willingness to have mutual prison visits as previously arranged, as well as to participate in the upcoming negotiations in mid-May. The negotiations may result in the release of more prisoners and the suffering of thousands of war prisoners and provide relief to their families in the impoverished Arab country.
9 people died and were injured in 2 separate traffic accidents in Ib. Local sources said that 2 cars carrying travelers from 2 families slipped at one of the turns of the public line, killing 4 people and injuring 5 others. According to the sources, the first car was carrying a family consisting of 4 people, and the accident led to the injury of the head of the family and the death of his wife and son. World Health Organization on World Hand Hygiene Day 2023 aims to put focus on civil society organizations. This report has more details.
Just like maintaining cleanliness around us, taking care of one's hygiene is also very important for good health. The recent COVID-19 pandemic clearly gave a key reminder of the importance of maintaining hand hygiene. It necessitated our hands to be kept clean and sanitized, especially after coming from outdoors, as our hands come in contact with different objects and surfaces throughout the day. It's very likely that they can easily get infected by microbes and microscopic organisms. Thereafter, maintaining hand hygiene is very important to eliminate these microbes and further reduce the risk of infection. When talking about hand hygiene, one cannot avoid the importance of the World Hand Hygiene Day, as marked on 5th of May every year. Launched in a bid to create awareness about maintaining hand hygiene in healthcare, the WHO annually celebrates World Hand Hygiene Day, the day which holds great significance in people's lives and health. World Hand Hygiene Day is a global campaign that was launched in 2009 as a part of a major global effort to improve hand hygiene in healthcare. It was led by the World Health Organization to support healthcare workers and was a natural extension of the WHO First Global Patient Safety Challenge. World Hand Hygiene Day holds major significance, as the WHO on this day aims to highlight the role of achieving effective hand hygiene action at the point of care, from encouraging people to make cleaning their hands a habit to encouraging the same among healthcare workers. The day makes a bid to create awareness among all groups of people. As stated by the WHO, this year's World Hand Hygiene Day puts civil society organizations in focus and thus calls upon all institutions and other partner organizations to engage with the campaign and accelerate progress at achieving effective hand hygiene.
Coming next in the news. Ma'rib records increasing cases of car accidents. Welcome back. Yemen-based ACAP declared in a video earlier this week that Saudi Arabia had accepted defeat in Yemen by signing the resolution pact with Iran last month. With the instability of Yemen's civil conflict, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula has grown. This report has more details.
Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, or AQAP leader, has attacked Saudi Arabia's recent peace arrangement with Iran. The Emir of Yemen-based AQAP, Khalid Batarafi, stated in a video earlier this week that Saudi Arabia had conceded defeat in Yemen by signing the deal to re-establish ties with Iran last month. Batarafi said his extremist organization was the last line of defense for Yemen's Sunni Muslims, the country's largest religious group, against the Houthis, a group formed by Yemeni Shia Muslims. For years, AQAP vied for influence with the Houthis and the self-declared Islamic State, especially in the central Al-Baida governorate. The terrorist organization has undertaken operations against both Houthi and government forces, as well as erratic strikes beyond Yemen. AQAP, which has been active in Yemen since the early 1990s, has profited from the present upheaval. In 2015, it seized the seaside city of Mukalla and freed 300 convicts from the city's prison, many of whom were suspected to be AQAP members. The group and rival militants aligned with the Islamic State group have prospered in the midst of Yemen's civil conflict. Before coalition troops reclaimed much of the territory in 2016, the terrorist group extended its influence westward to Aden and captured portions of the city. AQAP has also supplied Yemenis in some regions with security and public services that the state has not delivered, which has bolstered the group's popularity. On March 10, Iran and Saudi Arabia announced a Chinese-sponsored deal to re-establish diplomatic ties between the two nations. According to official media sources, a Saudi delegation will visit Iran to participate in a trade fair in Tehran from May 7th to May 10th. The Saudi-Iranian deal lays out an agenda for resuming diplomatic relations within 2 months. Aside from strengthening bilateral relations, the accord may also reduce tensions in the Gulf area as a whole. Officials in the UAE, Kuwait, and Oman all praised the agreement as a step towards peace and prosperity that will benefit all parties. However, Iran has yet to indicate that it is willing to make genuine compromises, especially on the reported transfer of cutting-edge weapons to the insurgent Houthis.
The head of the Central Statistical Organization discussed with the deputy representative of UNICEF the coordination between the agency and the organization. In the meeting, they appreciated the agency's support in the field of building the capabilities of workers in training the technicians. For his part, the UN official stressed the importance of the role assigned to the agency in the next stage.
من قبل كان ما فيش دعم، يعني ما فيش إقبال كثير على المستوصف.
والله الدعم نقل المركز نقلة غير عادية. المشروع هذا دعم المركز بكادر جديد. مدنا احنا بكثير من الأجهزة والمعدات الطبية والأثاث. وفروا لنا كثير من الأدوية الأساسية، خاصة مع الأدوية هذه تقدم المريض مجانا. المشروع قدم للمركز ميزانية تشغيلية ما كنا نحلم بها.
طبعا نحن راضيين، الخدمات يقدمونها كمية خدمة ما شاء الله يقدمونها، ما قصروا جزاهم الله خير.
The Office of Endowments held a ceremony honoring 210 students and teachers in Quran competition. In a speech given by the Minister of Endowments and Guidance, he expressed his praise for the graduation of this batch of the holy month of Quran. He pointed out that with the support of the leadership of the PLC, they are making great efforts in serving these competitions. Informed sources revealed that the Yemen mobile company stole 20 riyals from the subscribers' balance on a daily basis. The sources confirmed that the total looting of 5 million subscribers, which is the average number of subscribers, reaches 36 billion riyals annually, goes into the pockets of the Houthi leaders and supervisors. Ma'rib witnessed a significant increase in the number of traffic accidents in a few periods, which caused the death of many civilians and the injury of others. This is because of many reasons, such as the emergence of children driving cars in the city in a large way and the insane of speed some reckless drivers, which raise fears among people. This report has more details.
This is how Ma'rib looks, with its dense population, crowded roadways, and careless drivers who put people's lives in danger by speeding through the city and causing a rise in traffic accidents.
The large number of accidents and overcrowding occur during Eid days due to children driving cars, non-compliance with traffic laws, and disrespect for traffic men. We suffer a lot from these things during holidays. We ask all drivers to cooperate with us because accidents have increased dramatically. We also thank parents not to give car keys to their young children.
Ziad Wahib, a young driver who is probably not even 10 years old, claims that he was forced to operate the bus in the middle of these busy streets because of his living situation, despite the fact that doing so frequently resulted in minor accidents. Ziad is not the only youngster who engages in this line of work. Numerous other kids operate trucks and cars, and they all have unique justifications.
Of course we have to work as we are displaced, and my father cannot work. I'm a bus driver. Sometimes the streets are crowded, and driving becomes challenging and we get into accidents. I had 2 minor accidents on the highway, and I've seen major accidents on that highway.
Here, where tragic incidents happen virtually every day, children's reckless driving produced numerous traffic accidents and irrational spread of death throughout the city, which made many locals fear for their own and their children's lives. People pay a high price for their lives and the health of their children as a result of parents' disregard and lack of understanding of the gravity of the situation when they allow their kids to drive in the city.
Here's a reminder of the main headlines. UN fails to raise adequate funding to rescue safer oil tanker. Government and Houthis announced readiness to resume prisoner exchange talks. The UN marks today May 5 World Hand Hygiene Day for the year 2023. This is the end of the news. Thank you for watching.